Tyrants and Communists. Hugo Chavez was no Kim Jong Un. An essay from my past. April 14th, 2013. While reading the newspaper today, my beloved Patricia expressed her disdain for and distress over the North Korean tyrant Kim Jong Un. As we all know, North Korea is a secretive nation where millions starve and are denied basic rights, while its leaders bully the citizens of Korea and the world. Kim uses the United States and the West as a boogeyman, or Satan, as his godless communist, totalitarian perversion of a country calls on his people to suffer in their defiance of our country and our way of life. I believe Kim is a liar with no other agenda than to gain as much power as possible, and is happy to do so at the expense not only of his own people, but all the people of the world. Pat then went on to compare Kim to Hugo Chavez, which stopped me short. Let me make clear that I am not, nor have I ever been, a fan of Chavez. I recall with embarrassment the cheer that erupted from my lips when driving home earlier this year, and I heard of his death. Chavez's thoughts and policies are diametrically opposed to my own. And yet, to compare him to Kim is to compare venial to mortal sin. Pat asked what the people of these nations could possibly gain under their leaders, and I was aghast at her thinking that the two states are equivalent. Koreans, in both the long and short term, glean death, while the peasants and disenfranchised of Venezuela garner opportunity and a higher standard of living. Chavez capitalized on the disproportionate opportunities and wealth that exist in Venezuela. He saw millions who had little chance of bettering themselves being exploited by capitalists and chose to create a country where wealth was more equally distributed. How did he do this? By stealing from the wealthy and nationalizing industries that he wanted, using the pretext that they had been stealing from the working class all along, so he was merely setting things right. Are these actions with which I agree? Absolutely not. I am a rich American who knows that everything I have earned and that I'm in the top 5% of world income because God wants it to be so. To me, there are unjust actions that occur to me, but I do not live in an unjust world where I have little, if any, chance of bettering my position. Chavez pressed the restart button. He did so for political reasons at least as much as philosophical ones. His policies of theft from achievers cannot succeed in the long term because we need achievers to reap the rewards of their efforts, and a country that glaringly steals from its top job producers is bound to fail, whether the country is in South or North America. I believe in giving people opportunities, free primary education, sliding scale fees for secondary education, for nutritious food and for habitable living spaces, as well as clean water. Please note that all of that has to be paid for, and that those of greater wealth will pay a higher direct price, but a lower price as a percentage of available income. I want people to be given a chance to succeed on their own after being given the resources they need to have said opportunity. I do not want people who have opportunities to better themselves and who choose not to be propped up by a false economy of fairness and living wage. Let all people be given a chance to rise or fall on their efforts and talents, but let them have the opportunities to learn, grow, and live in ways that give them the ability to be competitive, and then let them live their lives as they choose. Stealing from the wealthy seems both short-sighted and ultimately self-destructive, and that is what Chavez embodied to me. Hugo Chavez's dream is my nightmare, but Kim Jong Un's could be the death of us all.